Bye, Jacob. No, you don't speak for her.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 teen movie rivals.
Look who's trying to fit in now.
You're not very pretty, and you're not very bright. I'm so glad we had that talk.
Hey, remember, bring it.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best rivalries in movies aimed at teenagers. Since we're discussing how these showdowns play out, a spoiler alert is in effect. Do you think any of these rivalries would have played out differently in real life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Number 10. Mia Thermopolis versus Lana Thomas. The Princess Diaries.
Look what we have. The perfect nerd couple.
Before she learns that she's actually a princess, Mia Thermopolis struggles to fit in at school. Lana Thomas, the popular girl with the boyfriend Mia thinks she wants, relentlessly mocks her.
Look who's trying to fit in now.
And things don't exactly improve once Mia's royal status goes public either.
Would you consider you and the princess best friends?
I would definitely say that. I mean, we do everything together. We shop together, we get our hair done together, we even finish each other's sentences. It's very cool.
Not only does Lana lie about being friends with her to get free publicity, she actually springs the paparazzi on her while she's vulnerable. But there finally comes a point where Mia has had enough. With a little help from her ice cream cone, she stands up to Lana.
I bet it goes with anything.
Of course it does!
At the end of the day, this mean girl was no match for the Princess of Genovia. Number 9. Danny Zuko versus Leo Balmudo. Greece.
Hey, what are the scorpions doing here? This ain't their turf.
While the main plot of Grease revolves around Sandy and Danny's love story, the film also incorporates an interesting rivalry between two greaser gangs. Leo Balmudo is the head of the Scorpions, and they don't exactly get along with Danny Zuko's T-Birds. Balmudo is present as an annoyance throughout the film, talking smack to Kaneki and taking Rizzo to the dance-off for instance. Things really come to a head at Thunder Road though, as the T-Birds prepare to race Greased Lightning against the Scorpions car.
You ain't gonna see me for death, Zuko.
After Kaneki gets hurt, Danny takes his place as the driver going up against Leo. Of course, Zuko and the T-Birds emerge victorious, leaving Balmudo and the Scorpions in the dust. Number 8. Olive Penderghast versus Marianne Bryant. EDA.
Marianne Bryant is the secretary of the student council, chairman of the Orange Blossom Dance Committee, and the president of the Cross Your Heart Club.
When Olive Penderghast makes up a story about losing her virginity, she's completely unprepared for the consequences.
Maybe next time a certain somebody will be a little more careful what she says in the water closet.
The holier-than-thou Marianne Bryant overhears her and spreads the rumour, which sends Olive down a messy path. Marianne constantly judges and shames her, as Olive does her best to remain unbothered.
I just hope for your sake you at least had the good sense to use protection.
Why? Your parents didn't.
You're going to hell.
Just as long as you won't be there.
They actually make nice at one point, but their friendship is incredibly short-lived. Pretty soon, Bryant and her crew go back to treating Penderghast like she's the devil incarnate.
This was just a free preview.
Even Olive's former bestie Rhiannon joins in. While we're used to high school mean girls being popular cheerleaders, Marianne is a different type of rival altogether. She's stuck up, preachy, and weaponizes her faith to belittle Olive. Fortunately, our witty protagonist comes out on top in the end. Number 7. Edward Cullen versus Jacob Black. The Twilight Saga.
Goodbye, Jacob. No, you don't speak for her.
There are 5 films that make up the Twilight Saga, and Edward and Jacob despise each other for the vast majority of all of them. Their rivalry is actually twofold. Not only do they instinctively loathe each other, vampires and werewolves don't get along, but they also love Bella.
If you ever touch her against her will again,
Don't do this
she's
here.
not
Don't-
sure what she wants.
Don't do this
Let me
here.
give you a clue. Wait for her to say the words.
Fine. And she will.
Their devotion to her runs about as deep as their hatred for one another. As if high school love triangles weren't complicated enough on their own, the addition of vampires and werewolves really adds a layer of drama. While Bella briefly has her doubts, she ultimately marries Edward, much to Jacob's dismay. There is resolution at the end though, when he imprints on their baby Renesmee and thus shifts his focus to her.
You imprinted on my daughter?
It wasn't my choice.
She's a baby!
It's not like that.
All's well that ends well. Number 6, Sam Montgomery versus Fiona Montgomery, a Cinderella story.
You're not very pretty, and you're not very bright. I'm so glad we had that talk.
After her father dies, Sam is left with her heinous stepmother, Fiona, who treats her like a servant, and her awful stepsisters, Brianna and Gabriella. Fiona does everything in her power to belittle Sam, and for a while she succeeds. Plus, when her stepsisters find out about her anonymous online relationship with Austin Ames, they conspire with his ex-girlfriend Shelby to humiliate her.
Alas, it turned out that our frog not only had a secret identity, but also had a secret email relationship with a pen pal named Princeton Girl.
Her identity is revealed and she's forced to reckon not only with that, but with the way her stepfamily treats her.
Come on, girls. Someone needed to clean the pool tonight.
No.
Excuse me?
Naturally, it wouldn't be a good fairy tale without a happy ending. With a little help from her proverbial fairy godmother and her father's hidden will, Sam defeats her rivals, goes to her dream school, and gets her prince too. Number 5, Jim Stark versus Buzz Gunderson, Rebel Without a Cause. The rivalry between Jim and Buzz burns fast and bright, but not for very long. A big part of Rebel Without a Cause is Jim Stark's struggle with his identity as he tries to figure out how he fits into the world. So when rebellious Buzz Gunderson and his friends target him, things are ripe to explode.
What are you, crud chicken? Don't call me that!
Following their dramatic knife fight, Jim accepts to face off with Gunderson in a chickie run at the Millertown Bluff. After all, the last thing Stark wants is to be seen as weak. But Buzz tragically dies at the showdown, which serves as a catalyst for the rest of the film as Jim, Judy, and Plato deal with the aftermath of what happened. Number 4, Ferris Bueller versus Edward R. Rooney, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
In the opinion of this educator, Ferris is not taking his academic growth seriously.
When Ferris Bueller fakes being sick to take the day off from school, he draws the ire of Edward R. Rooney, the Dean of Students. Ed is determined to apprehend Ferris in order to make an example out of him. He hates the influence Bueller has over the student body and wants to defeat him. But no matter how hard he tries, Rooney always ends up looking like a fool.
Hey, Mr. Rooney, how you doing? Listen, I'm sorry to disturb you at work, but I'm not feeling very well today, and I was wondering if it might be possible for my sister to bring home any assignments for my classes that I might need. Have a nice day.
Either he's outsmarted by Ferris and his friend Cameron, the family dog gets the best of him, or he just plain messes up. While Ferris's sister Jeannie spends most of the movie furious with him, she actually helps her brother defeat Edward Rooney when he's about to win at the end.
Thank God you're alright. You know we've been worried sick about you.
Number 3, Torrance Shipman versus ISIS, Bring It On.
Because unlike them, we have class.
I swear I had no idea.
Well, now you do.
This movie spotlights the rivalry between two cheerleading squads, the Rancho Carne Toros and the East Compton Clovers, led by Torrance and ISIS respectively.
Y'all been coming up here for years trying to steal our routines.
They face off when Torrance realizes that her squad's cheers are stolen from the Clovers, a talented bunch that hasn't been given the same opportunities as the Toros.
We've had the best squad around for years, but no one's been able to see what we can do. Oh, but you better believe all that's gonna change this year. I'm captain. And I guarantee you we will make it to nationals.
As tensions rise, it's clear each captain wants their group to dominate, which also means competing against the best.
I'll bring it. Don't worry.
I never do.
At nationals, it's obvious that both Torrance and ISIS wants to win, but they also have a mutual respect for one another, which isn't always the case in teenage feuds.
You want to make it right? Then when you go to nationals, bring it. Don't slack off because you feel sorry for us. That way, when we beat you, we'll know it's because we're better.
Altogether, this rivalry provides social commentary on racial and socio-economic dynamics, whilst giving us some classic cheerleading fun.
Hey, remember, bring it.
Number 2, the Jets versus the Sharks, West Side Story. The rivalry between these two gangs is palpable from the first moments of this 1961 movie. Riff is the head of the Jets, a crew of Caucasian teenagers, while Bernardo is the leader of the Puerto Rican Sharks. They decide to face off once and for all to determine who gets ownership of the streets. But things get much more complicated when Tony and Maria fall in love.
Stay away from my sister. Sister? Wouldn't you see he's one of them?
He used to be a Jet and she's Bernardo's sister. To say they get caught in a tricky situation is an understatement.
Hold my hand and we're halfway there.
These star-crossed lovers meet a tragic fate when the animosity and racial tensions between the two gangs reaches a deadly point that they certainly didn't see coming.
You all killed him, and my brother, and Riff. Not with bullets and guns, with hate.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Lainey Boggs versus Taylor Vaughan. She's all that. Taylor can't handle the attention Lainey gets.
What the hell are you doing here?
I was invited.
Really? Isn't your dad my pool man?
I really wouldn't know.
Oopsie. Oh. You really should be more careful with silk.
Mitchie Torres versus Tess Tyler. Camp Rock. Tess can't stand not being the best.
This is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Gonna let the light shine on me. Mitchie, you are so never going to see Final Jam.
Bianca Piper versus Madison Morgan. The DUFF. Madison is a typical high school bully, and Bianca is her target.
Bianca, you have to have an actual invite to get in, and I only have a certain amount. But if anything changes, I'll let you know. Problem solved. Oh, hey. Look at that.
Tracy Flick versus Jim McAllister. Election. A hostile student-teacher dynamic.
I don't know what you're referring to, but maybe if certain older, wiser people hadn't acted like such little babies and gotten so mushy, then everything would be okay.
I agree. And I also think that certain young and naive people need to thank their lucky stars and be very, very grateful that the entire school didn't find out about certain indiscretions.
Catherine Murtoy versus Sebastian Valmont. Cruel intentions. Two step-siblings with a twisted relationship.
You were very much in love with her. And you're still in love with her. But it amused me to make you ashamed of it. You gave up on the first person you ever loved because I threatened your reputation.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Katie Heron versus Regina George. Mean Girls.
So are you gonna send any candy canes?
No. I don't send them, I just get them. So, you better send me one, biatch. Love ya.
Regina George is your quintessential popular mean girl. She has it all. The looks, the money, and the bad attitude. So when Katie Heron arrives at North Shore as a fresh-faced student with no understanding of high school dynamics, she's in way over her head.
You're like really pretty.
Thank you.
So you agree?
What?
You think you're really pretty?
She initially joins the Plastics to knock Regina off her metaphorical throne, but in the process, Katie becomes more and more like her nemesis.
Katie, all I've been eating are these Caltine bars. They suck.
No, this is just how they work.
Their passive-aggressive sparring and shady three-way phone calls are definitely something to behold. Of course, Lindsay Lohan always does an amazing job bringing teen rivalries to life. Let's not forget Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, where her character Lola goes up against Megan Fox's Carla.
Wow, look what the wind blew in. Look what the cat dragged in.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.